Happy holidays, friends. It is so wonderful to see your face here, whether you're live or you're watching the replay. We certainly hope you are in the festive spirits. Lucas, are you feeling the holidays? Are you feeling it this year?
Phil, I'm wearing my best holiday flannel, which I think is a very versatile one. It goes for Thanksgiving, goes for the holidays. There is a moose behind me. I got some ivy. I am all set.
How Canadian of you. By the way, I'm allowed to say that because I'm also Canadian.
Yes.
The moose reference. I mean, I kind of look like a moose in this little brown chic outfit. We're not wearing Santa hats, but we've come close to it, friends. We are so excited to spend the next few minutes with you. There is an amazing lineup of content today. Can I just say, can we have a little look at the lineup of shows that you should definitely catch the replay for if they've already happened or coming up next? Friends, it's holiday week, so we are working in all of our favorite Adobe apps, creating all kinds of things. And it wouldn't make sense if I'm paired with my friend Lucas to not talk about social media content and Instagram content. Lucas, I've told you this before, and I'm not just telling you this to compliment you, but you are one of the only emails that I actually stay subscribed to because you send this great little email. Maybe explain it. Like, I think it's once a week, but you like give us the updates on Instagram, social media as a whole. And I always, by the way, see Adobe Express in that email, which I love.
And I remember those words from you every time I'm sitting down. Yes, it goes out every Friday. So every Thursday when I'm last minute writing it and drafting it up, I remember that Phil's going to be reading this. I need to make sure this is
No
good.
pressure.
And yes, it just highlights some of the top updates in social media and like we're talking about today, social media content. Because what's social media without that?
Correct. I feel like we should go ahead and share our screens. Lucas, I think we're going to start on your screen. And if you want to give us a little overview of what we're tackling today, I am seriously so excited about this. Right before we do that, I want to say hello to Robert. I want to say hello to Clever. I want to say hello to Oliver and all of our friends that are joining us in the chat. Penny, I see you too, honey. We're going to have such a blast today. And what I hope is that by the end of today's show, you're going to feel at ease and relaxed and in the holiday spirit like us, going into that holiday with a content plan. So it's one less thing to think about during the holiday, during your break.
I definitely like to get my planning done right now. This is prime time before everything else gets out of control. So it
Yes.
is very nice to have this week ready to, hit 2025 with your boots on the ground, ready to go. So what we're showing here is we have put together this amazing holiday content calendar. But Phil, these are all wrapped up. I don't see any content ideas on there. So of
Honey,
course,
that's because we got gifts for you under the tree. Okay. They
these
wouldn't be gifts if they didn't have wrapping paper. Okay.
right, and it's more interactive, more fun if you get to open them yourselves. So this is our remixable template that we have put together
Yes.
for this live stream. So we'll make sure our audience gets a copy of this. But the way it works is it is your Adobe Express template, and you can go ahead and delete, or should I say, unwrap any of these GIFs. And there are actually some high performing, very versatile content ideas under each one. So I'm going to go ahead and open the first one. So I'm going to pick, I like this one right here in the middle. I'm going to go ahead and just hit delete. It's selected. And there is our gift. Let's get a little
There it
zoom
is.
action in so we can see. So my first gift, my content that I'm going to create fits under the educational content pillar. So education, when we're going through all of these different gifts, you'll notice that there are different pillars they are sorted into. This one being education, my standout favorite content to share. But different content pillars are really just different goals you want for your audience. So we're going to see some things, not to spoil it, but we're going to see some things like education, connection, conversation. I think we even have some promotion in there because what's social media if you are not promoting yourself and or your business as well? So this is going to be an
And that.
education post. Oh, yes. And this one says, break down an important process in your industry into 3 to 5 simple steps and show how your audience can do it too. We tried to keep these super versatile, regardless of your niche, regardless of your industry. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with it. So we're going to go ahead and work with that. Phil, we're going to be working with quite a few different content formats today because we're
Yes.
talking Instagram, and what's Instagram without versatility in
Yeah.
content?
Yeah, absolutely. The other thing too, Lucas, I feel like if we were going to try to hit home one thing today, it's to not overthink and put too much pressure on yourself to create the perfect masterpiece of content. Like, I feel like this is a really good exercise, especially this
Yes.
time of year when we want to be mindful of where our time goes. And so I feel like it's just a good chance to go, you know what? I've got 15 minutes, I've got 20 minutes to create a post. I might miss a few days that I might normally post. Your frequency might go down over the holidays. Our goal, us in showing you how each of us, create this content, how you can kind of take this idea as a starting point, and hopefully us giving you the idea is like the keys to the car. That it's kind of like now go and drive, but don't let this dominate your day or your holiday because it's so important to also take some downtime.
Yes, that's a huge one. And that's why we're going to show quite a few different workflows here, different content formats. What I'm actually going to do to jump off what you just said is when it comes to creating content, you don't have to start from scratch every
Yes.
single time. We'll have some content today where it's starting from scratch, but I'm showing on screen a perfectly good carousel post that I shared this year and I put a lot of work into it. It is about how to plan an entire month of content. I'm going to go ahead using one of my favorite Express features, the view all pages, and we can really see how this is going to break down. But I have this nice carousel that I'm going to repurpose for this first educational content pillar. Break down a process in your niche in 3 to 5 steps. I've got 4 that I'm going to share, but I think this could be a little bit more revamped for the holidays, for 2025, January, New Year's. So I'm going to have some fun and work with content I've already written the copy for, I've already shared once, and I'm going to make it look new and nice for my audience. If
Love
you
it.
are if you are in the chat, I want you to let me know what is your favorite type of content to share, because as Phil and I are going to highlight, it's not just about reels, it's not just about stories, it's not just about carousels or photos. You can really share a wide variety of different content. Let me know what your favorite type is if you are tuning in there.
And while you're zhuzhing your post, Lucas, for the holidays, I love that you're not starting from scratch, but you're repurposing something that already exists.
Yes.
That I feel like that cuts down the time in half. While you're doing that, we're a little team here. I'll keep an eye on the chat. We've got Helena, we've got Patrick, we've got Voodoo Val. Honey, I loved your stream earlier today, by the way. It was so fun. I also love that you streamed it on Instagram. I was like, hey,
Oh, that
I
is very
see you.
cool.
Val says, I love showing illustration, painting process videos. Penny says, positive, uplifting memes. Haha. Penny, I love those too. And also, Lucas is the king of memes.
I've
Like,
brought memes
seriously.
back this year. Memes are the easiest content to create, and the shareability on them is amazing.
But wait a second. I actually don't think they're the easiest content to create. They're the
Oh,
easiest
okay.
for you. I don't find them
Interesting.
easy, which is like, I love that you lean into that. But friends, let's make that a little learn moment. For Lucas, that's like, he considers that easy, right? Because it's content that's created. It's like something you see, something you curate. Um, I I'm always like, are other people going to find this funny? And then I start to like second guess myself. But I have my own like ways of quickly creating content, probably stories.
Yes.
You always you like when I self-deprecate in my stories. Not just you, other people like it.
I think your stories are some of the most entertaining content, and you really make it a series, which is a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, what I'm doing is I deleted some not so festive images I had. I had like a tropical plant leaf and like someone typing on the laptop. So I'm gonna add some more festive images here. I typed in champagne. Let's see what we got here. Let's go ahead and pop that in the corner. I'm gonna let those load in and then I'll be removing the background just to have those in there. I like this mug. I think there's never not a time for coffee. So just to switch it around though, I'm gonna move it to the other corner because I'm reusing the content. I don't need to make it entirely brand new. And that's the main message I wanna share. I'm going to share some really fun features that are going to, let you change your content. I
Oh,
like how
look
the
at that.
bottle, I know, I really like how that stuck around. I was worried I wouldn't see the splash at all. So I like that it has some of the background there. And let's go. What's a corner image I could put here? I got a calendar because it's about content. I got
Yep.
a coffee or hot chocolate. I have a
Yep.
champagne bottle. What do you think I can put in this bottom corner, Phil?
I'm thinking you could add a little stocking. That's
Okay.
like,
Okay.
that's for me, that's very Christmassy. I feel like as I've become an adult, I've like grown out of Christmas being about presents and all of those kinds of things as a kid. But now we do a stocking every year, my family, and
Yes,
so it's kind of like keep it small, don't overdo it. It has to fit in the stocking for it to be a gift. So that's like
that
for
is very
me. Look
nice.
how cute that is in the green bottle, the red stocking, cute,
Got the
cute alert.
contrast. I've something I'm running into 2025 with is this kind of like mixed media scrapbook style content. And I
Ooh.
really am liking it. So that's where we kind of have these just this blending of mixtures. It looks like I've just kind of slapped it all on there, cut it out of a magazine. That's what I'm going for. I do want to replace all of I like the light background I have here. I'm going to keep that. It's kind of on brand for my teacher background that I have, but I'm going to delete these darker chalkboard backgrounds and I'm just going to replace them with this holiday paper. And I'm just copying and pasting and it's automatically applying to the background of my images.
We love a good copy and paste
Oh, we love
moment.
to reuse, reduce, recycle. And you'll notice that my favorite thing to do, again, I keep going to this zoom out view so I can, especially for a carousel. For other content, I might not do this, but I love zooming out to just see what I'm working with and kind of plan where I'm going to go next. So just looking at the post here, we have, if we're looking, going page by page, we have how to plan an entire month of content. What's the key to efficiently organizing a full month's worth of content? I always put the second slide of a carousel like this almost as a secondary cover because the
Mm.
unique thing about a carousel post on Instagram, it's the only piece of content that Instagram will show to your audience twice, meaning if they skip it the first time, maybe the cover I put here isn't catching their attention or they're busy, they don't have time for my content. They're back on Instagram hours later, or even a day or two later, Instagram might show them this slide instead, saying, hey, you missed this post by Lucas. Check this out, give it another chance. And that's why I always try to keep the secondary slide or image also like a supporting cover as well. So that's why I have that prompt. What's the key to efficiently organizing a full month's worth of content? As we're going through there, we see step one, nice and simple, step two, step three, and step four, followed by super important as well, put a call to action. Share this post if you're up for the challenge. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit more festive as well. Let's do Christmas present. So instead of my previous content, which had a paper airplane to kind of invoke that idea of sharing the content, sending it to someone else, you can send a gift all the same. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down here instead. I love how I just noticed this gold bow looks very cool. So we are
It
definitely gonna have
does.
to we're gonna use that somewhere. Let me remove the background on this gift
I'm
here.
enjoying like this little metallic vibe. I'm also enjoying you zipping around in Adobe Express like such a pro. I know that we have so many creative pros in our community, but Lucas, you also like you have said to me before, you don't consider yourself like a super designer type person, right? You've always kept your content very simple and streamlined, but you love creating your content in Adobe Express, and I can see it. You don't just say that. I'm like watching you in action, and you, my friend, are a pro. I'm giving you that title today.
Thank you. You love my email newsletter and I'm a pro at Adobe Express. There's my 2 wins for the day. I'll take it.
But don't you, I mean, this platform, I really think there's no other tool like this, not just in the suite of Adobe tools, but in the landscape in general, where someone who is a creative pro can hop in here, leverage content they've already created in Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, etc. Lightroom. Now you can see
Yes,
that under the
yeah.
media tab when you go to the very last tab. But then also someone who's like, might open Photoshop or Illustrator and go, oh my gosh, what do I click first? To be honest, that's me sometimes, especially in Illustrator. I'm like, oh my God, what do I click? My designers help me with that. You know, I own a branding agency, but even me, like actually doing the logo design is not something I've done for a lot of years. Express is like a safe place, even if you're a pro, but also if you're not. It's really intuitive, single click, remove background, access media, upload media. You've seen Lucas hop into elements and add design elements, remove background on assets from the media tab, which is synced with Adobe Stock.
Yep.
There's just like so many options, and you get to focus on being creative, and I love that.
Well, as you pointed out, my favorite tool if I haven't made that clear, is remove background. I love how smart it is. I love how it knows what to pick and what to find. So it's excellent for that. And that's really all you need is a lot of these stock photos, especially for this scrapbook style. The main thing I need is the background gone so I can, work with it and plaster it all over the image. And that's what it does it for me very quick. All I'm going to do to really neaten this up
Yeah.
is because again, I'm reusing a post, right? I'm reusing a post. I don't want it to be completely word for word. So I don't know if you've used this feature before, Phil, but one of my favorites is being able to rewrite your content.
Yes,
So
this is new.
yes, so just clicking on any text box I have here, I see this rewrite option. Open it up, and it lets me either shorten, lengthen, or change the tone of any kind of writing I'm going for. So I think let's try to make it a little bit more fun and festive. And then I would say this post is probably good to go and ready to move on to our next pillar. So this one just said, which days will you post on? There isn't a best day to post on Instagram. Choose the days that work best for your schedule. This sounds a little formal to me. So I'm going to go ahead and rewrite. And let's see. Shorten, lengthen, or just rephrase, which will approximately keep it the same length. I like the length. I like how it looks on the page. Let's go with something. Let's go comical. Let's have some fun and go
Love
with
it. It's
that.
the holidays. Lighten up.
We gotta lighten up.
We gotta lighten up. Penny has a really good question while you're choosing the variation you like there.
Yeah.
Lucas, she says, I also like that you're doing a carousel because I'm not always up for making videos. Amen, Penny.
Yes.
Um, and she says, would you repurpose it into a video with slight changes? Is that something you would do?
I've seen that done before. I do find that when it comes to what someone expects a video to be, unless it's like a story or an ad you're using for your brand, I like a video to be you on video or a person or actual video footage. So personally, I wouldn't. But I do love what they said and suggested as no matter what, even if you're amazing at video, you're going to get sick of it or it's going to get exhausting for you and your audience if that's all you're sharing. I always suggest find your main content format. Let's say that's reels for someone. And then one day a week, dip into something like a carousel or dip into something like a trending meme or like a GIF style meme because it's going to give you a break and it might be the next big experiment that's going to help you find something your audience really loves and hasn't seen from you.
That's such great advice, Penny. I would add to that. I would say add your face. Humans like
Yes.
communicating with humans. Lucas agrees. You can certainly have those animated elements if you were turning it into a video, but my suggestion would be don't just make it that like animated graphic, post it as a reel. Add in maybe a few seconds of you talking right before that, which you could record on your phone, upload into Express, and then actually export that as a video or schedule it directly to your Instagram, which is possible in Scheduler. The other thing I might do, this is going to use Chat GPT or any other generative AI tool of your choice. You could repurpose the carousel, upload the images of the carousel to
Yep.
Chat GPT and include a prompt, something to the effect of, I've posted this carousel before on Instagram and it performed well. Based on the content that I'm sharing, can you use it to inspire a script for a reel that I'll read to camera?
That
And
is very cool.
ChatGPT can actually extract text from image. So you don't have to worry about like typing it in or copy and paste it over. Just upload the images up to 10 images. It will extract the text and it can actually create a script for you that you could further refine. So those are two options for you, Penny. Great question.
I love that for sure. So what the option I have here, we went with kind of fun, right? We went with interesting. So here's what we got. The perfect day to post on Instagram. Just pick the days that fit your crazy schedule. And I like
That's
that one
so
quite a
good.
bit. Isn't that awesome?
That's so
So
good.
you have tons of options here. You can go ahead and, flip through. You can generate more, which is great. But yeah, I love having the different ones you can do and different tones from there. I think
Genius.
this is probably good to go, Phil.
Love it.
Again, I don't want to make something, the whole message I'm trying to share here was you don't have to create something groundbreaking and new. This was something I already had, and I just changed it for a new month that I'm going to be sharing it. I think my audience will still recognize this very much as my own because I stuck to my fonts. I have my name on the front, and it is my kind of scrapbook style. But this would be ready to schedule, ready to put up there. That's our first gift, unwrapped.
Friends, I love this start to our little content repurposing, easy holiday content, our little festive content calendar that's designed like a little advent calendar. We can switch to my screen. I'll take over. Lucas, I love that you alternated your backgrounds. I think that's
Yes.
super cool. Um, Keeping people's attention. The comment about consider your first image of your carousel, but also consider your second one because Instagram, they'll almost like A/B test kind of
Yeah, that's a good way
the
to put it.
slide 1 and 2. Friends, I'm opening a gift. Are you ready for me to open my gift? I'm just choosing one here. Okay.
What do we
This is
got?
a connection post. Tell the story of a recent challenge you faced in your business and how you overcame it. So we mixed in here into our little advent calendar some holiday inspired posts, but also we included some evergreen ones that are not holiday, but I could always take it and turn it into holiday. So, for example, Lucas, I might like involve you in this because
Sounds good.
I find like coming up with content ideas. Yeah, I could just sit here and ruminate, but also like if you have a dialogue with someone, almost like if you're on a client call, um, sometimes it can extract better information. One of the other things I like to do is I will open, you'll see us use AI powered tools in Express. Many of the text based AI features, like what Lucas showed, are powered by Chat GPT or OpenAI. Any of the image generation AI features are obviously powered by Adobe Firefly. I always call it out. I'm going to do it. Adobe Firefly, anything you create is commercially safe. And
Yes,
we're really
very
proud of
important.
that. Really proud of that. But I also will sometimes like go like this. Do my two browser windows, I'll work in Express and I'll work in Chat GPT. So what I'm going to do, I've got it up on my phone as well. I'll hold it up so you can see it. Um, there we go. So I have the same app open and I'm just going to talk out some content ideas. Lucas, here. So let me just push the microphone. So this isn't necessarily a holiday post, but I find that during the holidays, I'm like reflective on my year and there were challenges. There were ups and there were downs. One of the things that I'm really proud of this year is I feel like, well, my business partner left midway through the year, and I had to kind of like regain control over my own business and step back into my business in a much more active role. And as I reflect on the year, I'm really proud of like being back in the trenches, like being back in the driver's seat of my own business. I'm really proud of that. And it's something, it took a lot of time and a lot of energy, but it was worth it. It was worth it. Lucas, I told you I'd need you, but I literally didn't need you. I
I think
literally didn't need you.
that is also a perfect highlight of why this content pillar we're using is called connection. Just
Yeah,
listening to, hearing you speak, your answer just screams connection. I'm sure that is super relatable to your audience, right? Maybe people
right.
who aren't as far along in their business and are worried about that happening and facing that same obstacle as you. Super
Yeah.
important to, have that close bond with your audience from a post that speaks to this personal story.
Yes. So something, of course, because I'm live, something malfunctioned with the recording of my transcript. It's so weird. I don't know why that didn't work. But normally it does, of course, when no one's looking or paying attention. But let me just throw down an idea from now that I took the time to talk it out.
Yep.
Um, I have a prompt saved that
Ooh.
pre-populates using a tool that I love called Text Blaze. It's free, but I remind Instagram for me what an Instagram carousel is. Friends, over here on the left-hand side in Express, this is my simple Instagram carousel template. When I scroll back over to my own Instagram feed, you'll see I post this like every 6 posts, I guess it is, or 7 posts, but a simple text post with no fancy graphics often performs the best for me. So when Lucas says he loves sharing memes, friends, I love just sharing ideas. As soon as I get images and stuff involved, I tend to overthink it. It takes me an hour. But as soon as I'm just throwing down ideas, much like just talking out that idea like I just did, um, it's just easier. So
I've
here I'll go.
never thought of having shortcuts for your prompts. That is brilliant because, when you find a prompt you like, you want to replicate that, whether it is, creating images or using text-based or generating text. I need to, this is why I love going live with you, Phil. I always learn the amazing AI additions to my workflow that are going to neaten things up.
Well, listen, I learned from you, you learned from me, and then our audience gets to just tag along through all of it.
That's the
Um,
fun.
I'm really proud of being active in my business. My business had a major shakeup, and my business partner left mid-year, but I'm very active in my client projects and very proud of my progress in business. Obviously, I went on longer than that, but just for this demo, friends, I want to show you how you take a quick idea, okay? And look at this. It is pre-populating all the text because I took the time to tell Instagram what an Instagram carousel is for me. Up to 15 slides. I normally still keep it to 10, even though you can go up to 20. Just because you can go up
Just
to
because you
20
can.
doesn't mean you should. Do you agree? Can I get an amen in the back row?
Yes, 100%.
Lucas, I might add to my prompt from what I learned from you, I might go here and actually say, have a hook on slide one, but also slide two, since Instagram may show slide one and two to the same
I
follower.
love that.
And friends, the whole idea here is like, ideally, you're not trying to memorize your prompts. Um, Ideally, you're trying to iterate and make them better, 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 better. This is an example of how you can use Chat GPT alongside. So I would literally just pop in the text here. If there's a blog post up here or a YouTube video, I pop the link up there, throw my name at the bottom, adjust that last slide call to action. I probably won't, just for the purposes of time, since we have a full calendar, we want to get through some more. I wanted to show you how I could approach this and create a post in about 10, 15 minutes. There's my text, slide 1 to 10, that I could just copy and paste over. No fuss, no muss. Love it.
I think the big thing too is that, we're talking about consistency. Consistency in using templates makes it easier to make your content, but it's also important for your audience to recognize, oh, that's one of Phil's posts. And I think I could probably, out of 1,000 posts, I could probably spot yours in a pretty short amount of time just because of the consistency you've used in your design across the many years we've known each other.
Thank you. Well, what you just called out something really cool. One of the things that I'm loving is that I can save my template directly in my brands tab. So over here on the left-hand side, I'm zoomed in, so it's cutting it off a little bit, but you can
Yep.
see here, when you've got your brand set up with all your fonts, your colors, also assets. So here I have all my photo shoot photos. I have icons, all that kind of stuff in here that I can quickly drag in here. But then I've also got my templates. So I generally just start right here. This template that I have a link. I'll post it in the chat in a second. But I can literally just start from a template, pop in the content, good to go. The reason I repeat this post, this style that Lucas says he, can spot it from a mile away. The reason I repeat it, friends, is because it performs really well. I'd love if all the posts with my face were the top performers, but they're not. People look to me for education, they look for ideas. And so I make sure I take time at the end of the month or every few months and go, okay, what's working? How can I do more of what's working? And I think, that's if growth on Instagram is something you care about, then that's probably a good approach. So friends, that's how I would do that post. I'm not actually going to take the time to paste it, copy paste it, but I wanted you to see the workflow of how I would approach that.
Love it. I want to also highlight too is like you can see my cursor moving around and like Phil's cursor. Like we are collaborating in real time on this
Yep.
document, which is we've had so much fun. We've done some collaborative posts, that we've shared to our Instagram and posted as a collab that we've entirely created together without even really needing to speak on camera, just by using comments, just by using the text box on the side and being able to follow each other's cursors. I love it. I almost want to play tag, but I'm going
Yeah.
to get distracted and we have
Yeah.
more gifts to unwrap.
Yes, we have more gifts to unwrap. The next gift is you, my friend. So you
Yes.
take it over.
So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to go with this top left corner. Let's see what we got. Drum roll, please. Probably doesn't lend well to recording on a microphone. We have
There,
a
did my best.
Thank you. I heard it. I picked it up. We have a conversation pillar. So we've had three pillars now. We had education, which is really just all pure, straight to the point value. What are you going to teach your audience? This really gets people sharing that content because if it teaches them to do something, they probably have a colleague or a friend or a family member who they also think can benefit from that lesson and they want to share it to them too. That's education, my favorite for growing your audience. Phil shared connection. I'm zoomed out, so let me do that slow scroll. There we go. Phil shared connection, which, as I said, is really just about you standing out to your audience. There's so much noise, there's so many other accounts out there. Education is going to get them following you, but connection, I think, is going to get them used to seeing, excited to see your content on the feed, or in Phil's case in particular, on the stories, because I love his stories so much. And they always tell a grand adventure. We're going to move on to conversation now, which again, for me, is all about engagement and how can you strike up conversation, get people commenting. Little tip about Instagram and most social media platforms. If someone's leaving a comment on your content, or if they are DMing you and sending you a message about your post or your stories, that is a huge signal to the algorithm saying, hey, you know, this person, they like their content because they took the time to type something or to leave a comment. You should show them their posts more often. And it's a great way to expand your reach. So we're going to go ahead and read this prompt. Conversation, break down the top myths in your industry and explain why they aren't true. So we already showed a carousel. This would be a phenomenal post to do as a carousel because you have more, slides to break it down. This would be a great reel to just, share 3 myths and talk to the camera like we spoke about. I'm going to share it as a single image post though, kind of like an infographic, because those are really doing well as well because of their shareability. They're so quick to consume. So I'm going to put these myths in the social media marketing industry in the actual post itself, and we'll create that in a moment. The why they aren't true is what I would normally put in the caption, just to show that, there's so much versatility in these ideas and what you're creating with them. As I'm going over, yeah, I love it. You could tell, I love Instagram. No surprises there.
Well, so Instagram loves you. Friends, if you have not tuned into one of Lucas's streams on Express, or on live rather, usually about Express, Lucas has over 400,000 followers on Instagram. He's too humble to tell you that, but I'm not too humble to tell you that. So when he gives you Instagram advice, you take it and you run with it. At least I do.
Well, thank you. I just typed in checklist because, again, it is probably the most versatile way to share information that someone's probably going to screenshot. I always think of the content that I screenshot myself, and it's usually checklists or routines. Things I'll screenshot, then yes, probably never look at again, but that's a whole other problem. Go clear out your saved folder, everybody. That's what I always say when I'm live. Don't forget, you probably have hundreds of posts saved. Go look at those things.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Guilty as charged.
So again, showing another workflow. Last time with the post we did, it was a post I had already created, really using my own content as a template. Phil, you've shown how you can develop something from scratch. Yeah. I'm going to use this from one of the Adobe Express templates. And this one, yeah, because I started as an Instagram Square post, it gave me already in the search all of the Instagram Square post templates. I just typed in checklist, which is what I'm going for. And I get tons of options looking at which one's really going to suit my goal or my needs to really pop out and stand out on the feed. And I got this one, which of course says mental health checklist. That's not the content I'll be creating, but I'm going to show how it's quite easy to just do some simple swaps to make it into the post you want it to be.
Love it. Since we're talking about templates, and I think it's on my mind while I'm in Las Vegas at the moment.
Oh, interesting.
Really not at home. I forgot to mention that I'm in Las Vegas for an Adobe sales event, and it's fresh on my mind because people will go, how is Express different than other browser-based graphic design tools? Not just Canva, there are many others. Yep. And one of the first things that I say, and Lucas, I'm curious to get your input on this, since this is something you tackle every single day, content creation, Instagram growth. For me, one of the big differentiators I describe as like just sophistication in design Express is very what I would describe as Adobe level quality,
Yes.
right? We know this from Photoshop. We know this from Illustrator. We know this from stock. I mean, stock is amazing. Um, Adobe, like there's a level, there's a design sophistication with Express, and I find this to be the case with many templates in Express. When I use other tools or when I hop on other tools and try them, I do this a lot of time on my YouTube channel. I find like it starts to look samey, and then I go over to Instagram and I'm like, oh look, there's the template I saw. And so what I like is you can hop into Express and there are hundreds of thousands of templates that you likely haven't seen before. In this case, taking a mental health checklist and turning that into something totally different, but having a strong starting point is key. And also just, being able to work from some really sophisticated and well-designed templates. We're talking about ones for Instagram. I love the presentation templates in Express. Like I hop in there just to get design inspiration when I'm designing a brand for a client. So that's like something just something to know that you'll find a lot of great designs in Express when it comes to templates.
While you were saying that, I just went to the main page of Express
Yeah.
and I pulled up the templates window. And something I want to highlight, first of all, this is beautiful. How I always love how this looks. Sometimes
Yeah, me too.
I just look at it and use that to help me plan and look for inspiration. It's almost like
Same.
going to a library and we do judge books by covers, we'll say it. Going to the library or the bookstore and seeing what stands out to you. But something I really like are these two right here in the template section. We have trends and curators selects, and the options in these are phenomenal. So if I just click view all, and the curator selects also feels like an extension of trends, but we have very popular trending content. We have cyberspace. Some of them use generative AI directly in the template. We have, I don't know how to pronounce this word, planthropocene. I'm not sure.
Good
Third,
enough. Good
one
enough.
of one of my favorites, because this is updated regularly. Again, it's
Yes.
curated. Granny chic is really where I seem to be getting my scrapbook style from. But this collection right here, you can always click
I'm
view
sorry.
all
Did you just
and see
describe
more.
your aesthetic as grandma chic?
I think I just
Can
did. I
we
don't know.
dwell on that for a moment? Because that's hilarious.
Maybe not in this. I need a different sweater if that's the case.
Yeah.
Let me do a quick costume change. I'll be right
Yeah.
back.
I'm
Um,
imagining like grandma, like readers and like a little like, knitted little
the
beanie.
the
This
little
is,
I won't
I
wear my
want to see you
contacts
dressed
next
up this
time.
way when we come back from the holiday.
I could do that. That could be
Yeah.
arranged. But that's just a super easy way to find the templates. I love it for someone who is, looking to rebrand or starting from scratch.
Mm.
Just look at what's already what's standing out, what is inspiring and trending. You mentioned something else too, just a differentiator that I love, I always speak to about Express is just by zooming out. I have two completely different, I know they're not drastically different, but these are two different project sizes you're seeing. This is my 1080 by 1080 Instagram square. I like to go bigger and take up more space on the main feed. So I use 1080 by 1350 pixels in my Instagram content. So what I did was I just duplicated the original template and it adds it to the same document. Most tools, Express is the only one I actually know that lets you do this.
Yes.
Most tools will make you have just square documents across the page, right? Unless you make a new project entirely. With Express here, I could turn this into an email list header and have it super, super wide. I can turn it into a presentation and it would all be in the same document. I love using this to like show to clients and build out brand portfolios and show the different type of content. And I don't even get into branding. I'd imagine you probably enjoy this feature too, Phil.
I love it. Like, also, just from an organization standpoint, it drives me mental to have 10 different projects for one, what I would consider a project or a campaign. Um, when I create some more content, I'll actually demonstrate. I generally work from one template for my social media content or from Instagram because then I can quickly grab and reference previous posts and layouts. I have them all in one place and I don't have to waste a lot of minutes trying to find it. So that is not possible in other tools if you're going to
Right.
have different sizes.
We already have enough tabs open in life in general. So why have more
Yes.
open on your browser?
Yes.
as I'm switching, because again, templates, I don't want to use it exactly. I do have my own brand I want to form it to. So as I'm selecting the text, I do have my Lucas Personal Content 2025 brand saved, and I can quickly change that to the fonts I want, shrink them down to make sure they fit. And now I'm going to actually just type in the quick myths that I would fill in here. So just to have a few, I probably would want to make this, I would probably want to make this like a 5 long piece. So what I'm doing just to get more points in there is I'm just copying and pasting the parts I already like from this checklist. I love how I have these guides that show me it's, spaced properly. That's a huge pet peeve of mine is when I can't tell that. So I love seeing these pink arrows here to make sure it's all appropriately spaced. Keeping the pattern. I like how that looks. Something I'm keeping from the template is I like how they had checklist in this cursive font. Even though that's not my brand font, I am going to keep it there because it kind of brings attention to what I'm sharing. But then I'm just going to change these in. Let's go really quick. Social media checklist, myth checklist. You don't have to post every day.
I love that you can just create these off the top of your head. You can because you've been sending emails, you've been talking about, reading other people's content, getting inspired by that. But like friends, don't overthink it. Just create it. Just put down an idea and even iterate from there. Just get the idea down.
I love that, right? Just put the idea down. That's sometimes we try to make it perfect. And again, I already showed rewrite, but I could, if I just wrote something that generally speaks to what I want, and maybe writing's not my strong suit and I want it to stand out more, I can just use a rewrite. Engaging with your audience isn't a waste of time. So let's say I'm putting that there. I should probably center this just so it looks a little bit nicer. Maybe I don't, maybe I just put that idea out there, but I want a little bit more. I can go ahead and use that rewrite. It is ridiculously fast for how
Yeah.
quick it generates. Let's go casual again.
I'm so excited because it used to just be that in Express, the AI integrations were obviously image based, powered by Firefly. But
Right.
right around the time that new features were announced at Adobe Max this year, one of those was the rewrite feature, which you're seeing Lucas use in action. And prior to this, well, I'm a nerd for AI stuff. I would have Chat GPT open just as I did a second ago, but now we have so many of these features actually embedded into our project landscape. It used to just be that on the calendar you could use AI to power your captions. Now you have it within the project page. So any text field that you have in Express, you can click that rewrite feature, which will appear right above it in that navigation, and you can do all kinds of things. And I recommend trying this. Try to rewrite. Try changing the tone. Once you try these, put them into action, then you're going to remember when you go to create your content that you can just throw down the idea and perfect it later, not just by yourself, but using these tools that we've made available for you.
And that's what goes along with sometimes just having the starting point, getting started is the biggest obstacle. So that's why we put together this calendar to just say, challenge yourself. I'm going to open these GIFs within 2 or 3 that I open. Try to do on your first one. Just pick the topic and go. Don't spend that precious time trying to think of the perfect topic because there really isn't one.
How long does it take you to make your social media content?
Let's say if we're talking a post from scratch that I haven't covered. So if it's a post I've done before, like I did at the start of this workflow, and I'm just working some things around, I would say it takes me about 15 minutes now to make a post completely. If it is something that I'm really starting fresh with, like this one, I know I used a template, but I think we always have some sort of starting point, whether it's a template in Adobe Express or a template you've made yourself from a previous project. Something like this, I'm actually pretty much done right now, but normally it would probably take me 30 minutes. And that includes posting, having it scheduled, having the caption written, and then we're good to go. And this one really is, I'm probably working slower right now because we're having a conversation while we're doing it. But this one's pretty much done. I'm just going to add at the bottom, check my link in bio for the full article.
If you wanted to quickly turn this into your brand colors, you could single click apply brand on this. which was a feature we used to have back in the day on Adobe Spark. Then it went away for a few years, and then it came back. That single click apply brand generally works well. I always like to remind people too, there it is. So
I'll show it off.
Lucas,
What's that?
yeah, Lucas just navigated to the brands tab. The only thing is, Lucas, I don't want it to change your cursive
Right.
header that you
Although I
like.
do actually like this one that came in, which is
It
nice.
looks cool. But you also just did something that some people don't realize they can do, which is if you're not happy with the first apply brand, keep clicking that button, honey. Keep
Keep
clicking
going.
it, and it will
It's
give you
so fast.
variations.
It is so fast.
Sometimes what I'll do too, if there's an element in my project that I don't want it to change, like if I want to keep, that looks really good like there. I love that color scheme right there with the contrast. You might change some of the font colors. Exactly. The tip that I was about to give you and then got sidetracked because I was like, that looks good. I will copy or cut the element. So Command X or Command C just to copy it, apply the brand, and then, for example, you could delete the word checklist and put that cursive one back
Delete
by pasting it.
checklist. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a good tip. I love that. So
Um, these are like just those like little workflow things that you learn from doing. Apply brand will get it mostly right. I find that it doesn't get it 100% right because we still need that human touch. That's not a bad thing. Just like when we say like Adobe Express doesn't replace the other tools you're using. You're using Photoshop and Illustrator for some of those key tasks if you're a creative pro. You you're still going to be using those tools. Express kind of sits in the middle of your creative workflow. If you're not even sure like where to start in Express, it's really become quite a robust tool. I generally recommend quick actions are a
yes.
great
Yeah.
place to start.
They are
Resizing
awesome.
images, making GIFs, making QR codes, etc. Oh yeah, you're going to show us that purple plus sign on the homepage. Plus, they're laid out there right on that updated homepage. So many great quick actions. These are a great kind of gateway into what Express can do. And from there, you'll get more comfortable using this. But again, it's not meant to replace what you're doing in other creative tools. It's meant to complement it.
Love it. I would say this post is done. Do you think we have time in us for one more to get unwrap one more gift?
I think so. Yeah, we
I
still
think
got
so.
about 10 minutes of streaming.
Yeah.
So let's
Let's
do
do
it.
it. All right. What do we got?
Okay, so we're going to hop over to my screen. By the way, I forgot to tell you that this template that we're sharing with you for free, I designed it. Lucas provided the content for it. And the content from this is from one of Lucas's digital products. Lucas, you are famous now for being the content calendar guy. How many content calendars have you sold over the years? Please brag.
So I've sold 8,000 content calendars, and it is just a simple calendar PDF document that I designed and filled in with a lot of these content ideas, sorted into these pillars: conversation, promotion, there it is, education. And like we said, like we're highlighting here, it just gives a nice starting point for your content creation process. Pick one and go. Get into the
I
actual
mean,
design and the workflow.
I'm proud to be a customer from year one of the content calendar. You've done something so kind for people that have bought the calendar. You give them an updated version there next year. That is so Canadian of you, by the way. Um, but I love that. And friends, you are getting a little piece of that today for free. All we're asking for you to do is hop into Adobe Express and use this to actually create your content. The holiday is the perfect time to try something new if you haven't. If you're already comfortable and familiar in Express, fantastic, friends. We've pre-written your content for the next few days, few weeks, depending on how often you post. I just unwrapped. What
Who
you
doesn't
gonna say,
love
Lucas?
unwrapping presents, right?
Yeah, I love it.
Get in there and actually delete it.
Exactly. It's actually so fun. We locked all the other elements on the canvas so that you don't accidentally delete the content idea. By the way, this is all from Express. So these are icons. This is an icon I found, little GIF wrap. I used the shapes with the rounded corners. I added an outline, the dotted outline on those shapes. All of this was created and quickly in Express. So, okay, I'm very proud of our
I
content
love it.
calendar
It is so fun.
if you can't tell. So promotion. This is a promotion post, Lucas. So introduce or create a freebie for your audience and show them how it helps and where they can get it. So This reminds me of a post that I did uh, just a few weeks ago. And friends, this was not the first time I did it. I'll open it in a second. But if I scroll back here to my words, I might have already scrolled past it. I have a post. I think it's the one after here. There it is. This was the first
Oh,
time I
yes.
posted this, but there are words that I believe are a dead giveaway that you've used ChatGPT. And I apologize to everyone who was saying unlock, unleash, game changing, transform in your language. But now, even if you haven't used ChatGPT and you use those terms, it seems like you use ChatGPT. So I've been keeping like a running list of the words that I tell ChatGPT not to say. And this has been one of my best performing posts. So I made a freebie out of it. So it's all the words that I'm like, now you see the list increased, Lucas. Your comment
It's
made me laugh,
I
by the
saw
way.
my comment in there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
I
importance of
came
engaging people. Leave
Oh,
comments.
I forgot to like it. I came here looking for Delve and I wasn't disappointed. 6 likes. Okay, that's a lot for me. It's not a lot for you, but it's a lot for me on that comment. Okay, so there's the freebie, which I obviously made in Adobe Express. I also made the post in Adobe Express. I mentioned earlier that I work from a single document. I
Right.
have a few in action, but this is what I do, friends, and you're welcome to steal this workflow if it's helpful for you. I will put some of my template slides up front, and then I just do a canvas or a page more or less that says templates in action. So what I can quickly do is just duplicate this, drag it down, and work from that. So, right, I could adjust this, do whatever numerical value, 10. Hold on, that's 20. Okay, I like 20 actually. 20 ways to turn off during the holidays. Okay. And then I can go back here, grab any of my templates. So these are all like just placeholder words that I'll just duplicate and then make a post out of it. Do you see?
See,
Very
that's what I
simple.
love, right? Like you said, right there, it's all right there in your face. And you even have some horizontal and
Yeah.
larger pixel projects down there. I
Yes.
love how you can even see the freebie as it would probably look on a web page. Is that what we're looking
That's what
at
I did it
there?
for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
how you don't have to close out of this project at all and go to your, 1920 by 1080 pixel project just to see this. It's very nice to have it all laid out like that.
Laid out, organized, all in one place. So again, we only have a few more minutes left, so I probably won't take the time to actually create this. But we're just, today we're showing you a variety of workflows. Let's hop back over to I actually want to show you one more thing too. Well, we'll show you some of the remaining content ideas, but we're going to leave some of them a surprise.
Oh, I was gonna say we got to leave some of them
We're leaving some of
unwrapped.
them as a surprise. Friends, if you have time over the holiday and you're trying to build your workflows and get organized, this is a newer feature in Express, the way in which you can organize your projects. So I'll click on my kind of company project here, but notice I can have multiple brands and libraries in one place. So these are brands I've actually designed as my company. As an agency, I've got them all housed here. Here we can also have linked to your content calendar or content calendars.
That's
You've
awesome.
also, isn't that awesome? So you've also got the ability to folder here. So for example, I could do, and I probably will over the holiday, organize some of these files into actual like foldered just for organization. I know I always have like spring cleaning and then I have like holiday cleaning. It's just like the one time a year when I can actually like just get some of these things done. I'm calling this out because it's relatively new. So I recommend hopping over here to your stuff and then filter by projects and just start to think about the ways in which you want to organize all the files you have in Express, not only for you, but also for your clients. Lucas, I'm taking my idea back. I don't want to reveal any other content ideas. You
I
made a
think
point. Like,
the
let's leave
fun
it a
part is opening
surprise.
them. Opening them is such a blast. Again, like you said, you just click on it when you get your remixable template and you just hit delete. I almost did it. You hit delete and that'll unveil the gift. And it's a fun challenge to just set yourself to, pick one at random. Don't even pick the ones you already know from our session today. Pick
Yeah.
one we haven't opened. Just steer clear of red and green if and you're safe, and
Yes.
open one and then set a timer. 30 minutes, hop in Express, leave the window from here, go to a new window, open up a template, and try to make that post. You can really surprise yourself in what you can create in such a short time when you just get started.
That's genius. We have one question slash comment, and that's probably all we have time for. Clever, this comes from you. You said, I think and speak peculiarly, so I actually sound like an odd AI bot. My advice to you is that it's a brand advantage that you have a unique way that you speak. I also have a certain way that I speak, and I try to make sure that what I create in social media content is consistent with that brand voice. That's why you saw me earlier take out my phone and just talk. And I encourage you to do the same, whether it's into Chat GPT, you could use any variety of tools. I used a script also to like just transcribe quickly my ideas. Audio Pen is another one. I know I'm throwing a lot of tools at you, but embrace, my advice to you would be embrace that brand voice and do what you can to achieve consistency between the way that you communicate and how you show up online.
Love it.
I think we are almost at time, Lucas. What are you doing for the holiday? How are you celebrating? Where are you
I'm
going to be?
I'm gonna be sticking around home, but that's a good thing for me. Just keeping it relaxed here. Not my life is
Wonderful.
not as exciting as yours, I don't think.
No, I'm winding down. I'm very excited for holiday. Friends, it's been such a joy to have you stream with us today. And our goal is that you're leaving with lots of new content ideas and maybe a relaxed mentality towards your social media content. Don't overthink it, get it done, but also take some downtime over the holidays. What you should do right now is stick around because we have a very exciting day of streams still ahead. My sweet, sweet bestie Izzy is up next with an amazing remixable template. Stick around, have an amazing holiday. You'll see more from Lucas and I in the new year. Wink, wink. Um, that's it. That's the show. Stick around. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Happy
See you later,
holidays.
Lucas.